Hey guys, it's Saturday morning on the day that family night comes to town. I know y'all are excited about it. I have posted the link for you on our Facebook page if you want to view it live. This is the Out of Breath Armsore Packer Minute, the show where I walk around the neighborhood talking about the Packers, and you watch to see if I get struck by a cobra. And today I want to talk about the matchups that I'm excited about for family night tonight. You know, this is going to be a chance to get kind of an overview shown on NBC. We'll get a chance to watch our boys, and there are several positions that I'm going to be paying very close attention to. Actually, I'm going to try to keep it to like 3, but there are probably more like 30 than 3. But for example, I am interested. I know not a lot of people will be watching this too closely, but I'm interested to see the difference between Taysom Hill and Joe Callahan out there in terms of quarterback. They're going to be going through some throwing drills and stuff like that. And I am very interested to see, and I've heard that Taysom Hill, it sounds like Taysom Hill and Max McCaffrey have been having good camps, and I'm very interested in seeing this. Now, of course, it doesn't matter so much this year. We're hoping that we can hide all these guys away. It's just not going to probably happen, but it will be interesting to see if Taysom Hill can take a run at the number 3 spot and what kind of a prospect he may turn into. He's very intriguing in terms of his physicals. We know he's big, he's strong, but he's also fast. This is a guy who is a run threat. However, we also know that just being a run threat is not enough in today's NFL. You've got to be able to throw the ball, and that is the problem with Taysom Hill. His throwing motion, his mechanics are a little bit awkward, sort of a 3/4 over throwing style, but it will be interesting to see, and I certainly will keep my eye on him, because we know that in the future there is the possibility of Brett Hundley moving on, who has also been having a fantastic camp, had a great practice Thursday night, and so, you know, we're thinking trade value out of Brett Hundley, which moves everybody up a notch, and that makes guys like Taysom Hill, keep in mind, these guys could be important moving forward, not necessarily, and hopefully not, for 2017, but you want to have those guys in place in case anything happens. And if we do trade Hundley, we've got to be thinking to the future. So that's one guy I'm going to have my eye on, is this Taysom Hill character. And I don't think we'll get to see him. I don't think he's going to be able to show his wheels. But this cat's got some speed now. Another battle that I'm going to be looking at is the punt return battle, which now seems to be between Randall Cobb and Trevor Davis right now. I'm hoping that they mix some of these rookies in. Trevor Davis, second-year player, and Randall Cobb, of course, valuable player. And I will have a piece coming out about Randall Cobb in particular, because a lot of the talk out there is the question whether Randall Cobb will have a bounce-back season, and I am going to maintain that Randall Cobb does not need to have a bounce-back season. What he needs to do is continue what he was doing in the playoffs last year, and he'll be just fine. So I'll be putting that post up later. But I am going to be watching that punt return. If we can get some electrifying, and I'm thinking, you know, why isn't Aaron Jones making a run at this position? You know, why don't we have some of these rookies? Get those running backs back there. Get Malachi Dupree, even Yancey. Of course, it's punt return, so you need a whole lot of agility. You need to be able to make a very quick first move. And I'm honestly not sure any of those guys fit the bill. I would be looking at Aaron Jones, if anybody, in that capacity. But we shall see, again, and that's why I'm going to be keeping my eye on these guys. I'll have their numbers in front of me and be watching those punt returns. Another thing that I've got my eye on, it's not so much a position battle, but Kevin King has been seen in a shoulder harness of some sort, guys, and we know he had to skip a practice for his shoulder. He was out there Thursday night and Friday, presumably. I haven't actually been able to check much on Friday's practice. There wasn't a whole lot out just yet. But this is intriguing. You know, how long is this guy going to have to wear this? Kevin King, of course, an extremely important part of what the Packers are going to need to do moving forward. I do think we have some depth. I wouldn't be panicking if he couldn't make it in a game or so. And obviously, as always, the most important thing is for him to get healthy first. But I will be watching for that. I was very intrigued by that. And of course, you know, being able to raise your arms if you got a shoulder, some kind of AC or something going on, then it makes it very hard to play the cornerback position. You got to be able to get those hands up. Kind of like when Randall Cobb had the AC and was trying to play the wide receiver position. It doesn't have the impact as much like Clay Matthews did last year. You know, he would have to impact with that shoulder, and that's extremely difficult. But you still, as a wide receiver or a cornerback, your hands are everything. So be very difficult for him if, you know, if anything happens. So I'm hopeful that they, and confident actually, that that they will handle him properly. And if I don't see him on the field and it's because he just needs another day and it's no big deal, I'll be totally fine with that. If he goes out there and you see him walk off the field grabbing his elbow, then I'm going to start to worry. But, you know, this has not been, I know a lot of the talk is about the injuries right now, but this has not been an injury-prone training camp thus far. You know, we've got Vince Biegel was long before training camp. Whoa! I just spilled my coffee on myself. That's awesome. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. You probably can, but Vince Biegel was long before training camp. That wasn't related to any training camp incident. Montravius Adams, clearly the biggest concern, our young defensive tackle. We want to have this guy out on the field. Just wipe off the screen quick. We want to have this guy out on the field, and it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. You know, 6 to 8 weeks is the projected amount of time. I think that may be conservative, frankly. I don't expect him week 1 against Seattle, and I don't think that that hurts our chances to win that game. So again, just let him get healthy and come back. But this is probably the main concern. And then the Kevin King issue with the shoulder recently does not seem to be much of a concern. So we'll be keeping our eye on that. But it hasn't been terrible just yet. It's just one of those things. I think we're hypersensitive to injuries at this point. And with Vince Biegel, a couple of the guys, I think the biggest thing about our injury situation is that we've had 3 of our defensive players that we just got done drafting are the guys that are now unavailable. And that is one of the things that concerns Packer Nation. We don't like to see that because Kevin King is a guy we need on the field. Frankly, Vince Biegel is a guy that would probably be called upon earlier rather than later, I think, in this defense when Clay Matthews inevitably goes down. Hopefully not, but I'm hopeful that this will be the year that these guys can stay healthy. But again, you got to be ready for the worst. You got to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. But yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on Kevin King as well. There are tons of other battles. Obviously, the running back battle is one we could talk about ad nauseum and have in the last several weeks. But it's going to be nice to see these guys out on the field. And apparently, Jamal Williams is really coming on strong. He's been taking starter reps from Ty Montgomery at this point. This is not, I guess taking it from Ty is really not the best way to phrase it. It's the way it's kind of bandied about. But yeah, those are reps that Ty would have. And of course the coaching staff understands they've got to get these guys ready. All of these rookies need some reps. And apparently though, Jamal Williams is the one that's rising to the surface as of right now. We'll see what happens at family night. Obviously I'm going to be watching Jaron Elliott, see if he comes on. We're going to be watching Kyler Fackrell. Most of us will have our eyes also on Dean Lowry back there and see how he comes along. I'm expecting him, you know, it's the nice thing about family night being a practice is that these guys are going to be out there. When the preseason game against the Eagles comes along next Thursday, we won't see a lot of the starters out there. But in this case, we will get a chance to see all these guys rotate through. Although yesterday, Aaron Rodgers was just in a ball cap and kind of watched. So, and that's all fine with me because I want to see these young guys get more and more reps. And of course, moving into the preseason, we know how important those reps are. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for me today. I just thought I'd jump on with you early because yesterday I wasn't able to do one. I got out. And on my way back, where the exact same spot where I pulled out the camera here, I got totally hit with a rainstorm. I came home soaked to the bone. It was awesome. So highly recommend taking a walk, even if it rains. It's still pretty cool. And I will talk to you again probably Monday, and we'll be talking about family night, I'm sure. You guys have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you again soon. Go Pack.